this is the right thing. You must do the right thing. But in this case, the right thing is eating French fries.
Here's the new villain. We beat the new villain. We move on. Here's the new villain. We beat the new villain. We move on. Here's the new villain. We beat the new villain. We move on. Here's the new villain. We beat the new villain. We move on. Here's the new villain. We beat the new villain. We move on.
Run. Welcome to Podagus, your friendly 8-legged dog bus companion through the 2020 Digimon Adventure reboot. This week we're discussing episode 39, Jyagamon, Potato Hell. I'm your host, Jeff Ruberg, and for my guest this week, it's the return of special/non-special guest Ashley.
Yes, it's me. Also, since I haven't been here for a while, yes, Commandamon is like perhaps the best Digimon ever. I just have to throw that out here right now.
Oh wait, Commandamon wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there last time I was here. Oh.
Huh, yeah, it's entirely...
He's a magical creature who can do anything. So like, what? He's the most powerful Digimon ever.
He can do everything except for clean himself.
Yeah, well, that's
Apparently,
fine.
We learned this episode.
You can't do everything. You got to have a weakness.
I mean, he can dive into the water, but they didn't bring that up.
They didn't bring that up. Nope.
So last on episode 28, 11 weeks ago. What have you thought about the show in general since then?
It's still mostly been like, why do I care? Why do you want me to care? The highlights for me were Pegasmon. What's up, bro? I didn't expect that. I was like, all right, I'm paying attention now. I'm paying attention. You got me. That's cool. Hikari's arc did in the end underwhelm me. I will not lie. I was like, what, Hikari? You know how to talk and you just didn't? Why? Come on.
So you were in episode 20. You were really intrigued by the fact that she went along willingly with this evil plan, kind of thing. How did you feel about that aspect of it?
I mean, that aspect is fine. Her being Tailmon being like corrupted by darkness and like the light and the dark always having to play with each other. Like that part's fine. Just the thing that, like, the fact that Hikari did the, like, but I can't tell anybody my plan because then it would ruin the plan thing just really made me, I was like, no. What? You could have just said something to Tai. You made him worry for nothing. And she was like, it's okay. I knew he would come through. And I'm like, all right. I mean, no, but okay, sure. Ugh, whatever.
Did you have any feelings about Wargreymmon's debut?
Wargreymmon's debut. I mean, honestly, I'm like, okay, he was there to save some Woodmon, and we have not really seen him since, and it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's very weird whiplash because it's not like he just appeared in that one episode. He appeared in that episode and then evolved to Wargreymon again the next episode.
Yeah.
Which I thought was setting a precedent that he was going to keep doing it regularly, and then nothing since then.
No.
So... Well, I guess not nothing. I guess Blitzgreymon.
He became Blitzgreymon, yeah. But I'm just like, what? We used him for these 2 episodes, and that was like it? I'm very confused.
Yeah, I'm guessing for this, the arc that we're in right now, the like checking up on the other kids, that they wanted to avoid a Metal Greymon in Princess Karaoke situation. Where Tai just comes in and saves the day, and it's like, okay, so the main character of the episode didn't get the dramatic moment. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
It's weird. It just doesn't. And also, why is he so? He was not always this big. He's so big.
Yeah, I don't know. Different creative take. I don't think it's so weird.
So big.
He's a big boy. How have you felt about the other 2 episodes in this checkup episode? I guess not other 2, because I guess there was 3. The Koshiro episode, the Mimi episode, the Yamato episode.
The Koshiro episode. Well, we got some weird Digimon. I was like, okay, intriguing, but also what's happening right now? Mimi's episode was like, why'd you have to go and make Mimi so... Mimi and Joe are both very one-dimensional comic relief. And it's like, hey, were you looking for some fun? Oh, it was over here all along, and we just didn't come here, you know? Like, thanks. Yeah, Mimi's episode wasn't as powerful as the first one with, what's his face, Garjamon and Andromon at all. And I'm just like, why? I don't know. I wasn't into it. Yamato getting upstaged by Joe was fun. It was fun to watch Yamato have to be like, I must steel myself to talk to Joe like I respect him, he's like, all right, deep breath, Joe, Gomamon. I need you to help me. Like, you can do it. And I was like, it took so much out of Yamato to say that.
I mean, at least compared to the original show in Adventure 2020, that's about all they interacted. I mean, directly and with words, aside from like through action scenes.
It's true, but that's because Yamato has no reason to like respect Joe as anything, really. He's very desperate in this episode. his Digimon had become like a Jesus sacrifice, you know, like he was like, this is my last resort.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So in general, have you been enjoying the uptick in fun?
Have I been enjoying the uptick in fun? Yes, but I'm just like, all right, we could have spread this out. Like, this could have been a much more even season if you didn't just load it all in to these episodes. If it could have been spread out, you know, like could have had some levity in these very, very high stakes episodes where you didn't make me care about these characters enough, and the dramatic music is like a parody of dramatic music, the way that you're using it.
Okay. It's a little extreme. A little extreme fight, if you will, because the one song is called Extreme Fight.
It's very extreme.
Yeah, it's like it all just feels weirdly lopsided, and this gets into some criticism based on this episode because I think the levity in this episode is more like a continuation of the levity from the last two, and it just I don't think I'm just being biased by previous Digimon seasons, but I think it is just so much more natural to start off the show with a bunch of levity and wacky zany scenarios, and then increase the drama and tension and make it more serious. So to have it do the reverse is just feels wrong and misguided and confused.
Yeah.
Like,
well, especially because it feels like the levity is what gives you insight into what a normal Digimon's life is. And like what I've gotten out of this season so far is that the digital world is now run by gangs. And I'm like, you know what? On some, like I was fighting that for a while, but then like within the past 5 episodes, I was like, all right, you know what? It makes sense actually for them to all be in gangs because that's how weaker Digimon can survive. Like the, you know, like bigger Digimon are like, I abuse you, but I also protect you from other Digimon who don't respect you. I was like, all right, I get it. But then like this episode comes and I'm like, all right, I'm confused again. Like, you know, like there's not enough like I don't understand what the day-to-day is in the digital world because it's like, okay, yeah, is the day-to-day they're in gangs? Is the day-to-day they go to fast food joints and like get cars washed? Like is Millennium, because like Millenniumon coming back, I guess has been implied that's happening for a bit of a while. You know, there's like weird religious cults happening around it and everything now. But like presumably that's not the default like life of the digital world. So I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah. So like the funnier moments are what feels like it gives the Digimon like they just feel like humans who want to live, you know? I don't know.
yeah, I hadn't thought about how like the last two episodes full of levity didn't really break characterization of the world so far, and this one definitely did.
Yeah,
or at least broke that like they set up this content as like a dog eat dog world until it turns out to be a Digimon eat burger world.
Yeah.
Where there isn't even currency. Everything's just free.
Everything's free.
And
the potato likes to eat himself? Question.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I guess without further ado, we're already kind of drifting. We're drifting like Commandamon into the episode already. So let's go into it. So we're going to talking about episode 39, Jyagamon Potato Hell, aka I got too many of these, aka Potamon refuses to go keto, aka Taco Bell takes potatoes off the menu, aka Stop, Joe Hammer Time, aka Bear the Devil You, Potato, aka Say It Ain't Potato.
You gotta say it. Say it ain't potato.
Yeah, I'm not going to sing it. I'm definitely not going to sing this last one. AKA, stick to the status potato. How does the line even go?
I don't. What is this a quote from?
Stick to the status quo.
Stick to the status quo.
High School
High School Musical. Yes.
Yeah, I think the quo for potato jokes, it's a little bit of a stretch, but
you're like, I'm going with it anyway. All right.
They don't work as good puns, but they work about as good as some of the old Adventure 99 English dub title puns did.
Listen, Digimon Adventure 2020 has put the bar in the ground, so like anything, it's probably above it.
And speaking of things that grow in the ground, potatoes?
Potatoes.
Anyway, spoiler policy for this week. Like always, we're talking about everything in the Crunchyroll episode, including the title and preview for next week, but nothing beyond next week because I don't even think there have been titles and previews announced for that stuff. And also, if we'll mention potentially anything in the original Adventure season, but anything in other seasons, we'll give you fair warning if we spoil it. So yeah, quick recap of what happened in this episode. Tailmon guides the dog bus to a highway rest stop. Half the kids discover a magic restaurant with unlimited burgers. Joe gets upset that the Digimon aren't eating fries, even though their bodies physically mean they can't. So he's It's being a little ableist, but the other kids discover Lunamon's Commandamon washing service. Joe reflects on how fries were his only friends, and then he meets a new friend made of potatoes, and then learns that French fries are the latest victim of cancel culture. The kids clean up Commandamon while Potamon rages himself into a Jyagamon. Then Jyagamon attacks with potato bombs. Joe recognizes him by his French fry burps. Zudamon neutralizes the potato bombs by blowing bubbles onto them, and then Angelomon powers up his hammer to slam sense into Jyagamon, and then Jyagamon left so many deadly potato bombs around that Bergamon puts potatoes back on the menu again. That was an episode.
You know, when you say it like that, like it's so accurate to what happened, it really is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd. I struggled to get through that recap because I was had some heartburn from all these French fries.
All these French fries you ate, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like you weren't even trying to make jokes. That's just literally what happened. Like
I did try to make a couple jokes, but like I'm stretched. I'm like, is this a joke or is this actually the inspiration for the episode? How this is just Taco Bell removing potatoes from the menu, and then a year later being like, we're bringing potatoes back to the menu. Like, does not seem completely far-fetched that news inspired this episode. But I also have no idea if that news was big enough to reach Japan at all. Or
wait, is this like a thing that Taco Bell actually did or something? I don't even know.
I can't believe it's not everyone isn't like carefully following TacoEll news.
It's carefully following the Taco Bell news in the pandemic, yes. At Taco Bell, where I eat all the time, totally.
I maybe followed more because of on My Brother and Me. They talk about silly branding news like this a lot. But yeah, they removed them in July. Removed like all potatoes from the Taco Bell menu, which I did not know Taco Bell had potatoes.
Yeah, I'm getting more confused.
But apparently they were beloved. And so they removed them in July, citing coronavirus supply issues and like needing to supply the menu because of COVID. And then like it caused an uproar, and I think next week they're bringing them back. So I'm like, is this timing coincidental?
Wow, that is very. I mean, it has to be coincidental, but it's very suspicious.
Yeah, I doubt there's any actual connection, especially because does Taco Bell even exist in Japan? I think it might now. I remember hearing a story about people who lived in Japan like a decade ago or so, who like the only Taco Bell that existed was on an American military base. So they had to like, I think, go to Okinawa to get them, I think.
Oh, okay.
But I think there are Taco Bells in actual Japan proper now. But yeah, this episode's not about Taco Bell, really.
I mean, are you sure it's not? Because now I'm like, it might be.
Yeah. So
did you like this episode?
I guess.
You guess? Question mark.
I'm just like trying to like, was it too absurd? It was.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Yeah, I think it is the answer to the prayers that I've been having for a while about the show not having any fun or levity. But like I was saying before, it is just feels so bizarre to be having levity now, 39 episodes in, at the point where it feels like the tension should be rising. And it just makes me look back on those episodes where it was more tense and dire and there wasn't any fun. And it's just like, oh, what was the point of those episodes? Like,
what was the point of this? Yeah. Well, to me, it's like, are we in filler land? But like, this isn't based on there's no reason for there to be filler. What is going on, you know?
Yeah, I mean, people throw around the term filler a ton. And it's like, I'm sure people would look at these episodes, especially this arc in particular, where aside from Blitzgreymon, there hasn't been any like result or like impact from each episode in terms of like, what you can write down in terms of like their power levels or whatever. But honestly, what it makes me think of is like, I'm like, was the first 35 episodes of the show filler? Like, it makes me feel like the feeling it reminded me of was like, like watching Bleach post, what was that first big filler arc?
The Bount arc?
Yeah, the Bount. And like being like, oh, we're on episode 150 now. Where did 50 episodes go? And that's how I feel now, being like, we're on episode 39. Where'd the first 35 episodes go? Did I just like...
You're like, 39 is the real start of this show.
Kind of. Like, this feels like this is where other Digimon seasons start off, is this point of levity and fun. And it's like, the rest of the episodes just kind of happened. Yeah, I don't know.
It definitely made me laugh and everything, but I don't know that I was laughing with it. Like, or just at it. Like, I don't know that I can take this Joe serious. Like, can I respect this Joe? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, like that bit, like the bit of a flashback we get with him, like sitting somberly, being like the only bit of respite. Is that respite?
I think both are acceptable.
I don't. The only bit of peace he had in his life was to stop by and get fries on his way home from cram school and like eat his fries slowly with his allowance. And it's a cute little moment. But yeah, like his characterization episode is not serious. Like we don't take him seriously, and it's fun. It's fun that he gets multiple sides to his character, and it's not all about studying, you know.
Yeah.
And it does fit his like honestly, it kind of reminds me of Cody Ariori from season 2, where it's like, this is the right thing. You must do the right thing. But in this case, the right thing is eating French fries. So like, it's kind of neat to see this other side to him that we never could have expected. And it also pushes the Jomi agenda further because, you know, Mimi's all about that avocado cheeseburger and Joe's all about the French fries. So, you know.
I was like, wait, how does it do that?
They're a match made in McDonald's heaven.
Did they talk at all? I don't think so.
I don't think they talked, but I think Palmon referenced the burger and was like, "Oh, is this the?" Also, this episode calls into question that episode when they were like, "Oh, Mimi's excited for this burger thing," and Palmon's like, "I never heard of a burger thing," and it's like, no, burgers exist in this world, but
oh, well, she still didn't seem to know what they were, though.
Right, this episode calls into question the general Digimon world lore. Doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah. No.
But also, like, this is a completely different continent that, aside from Jyagamon, no one even knew about before, so I guess it tracks. I don't know.
It tracks in that Digimon is like, we do what we want. You can't question it because we've given you a bunch of loopholes, and you don't know. You don't know what we intended.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was nice. Yeah, like in terms of are we laughing along with it or at it? The moments that made me the most unsure about that was like Joe. I mean, Joe riding along with Zudamon's hammer and
yeah,
looking like he's looking like he is lifting it. It just makes no sense. Like, why would he be riding along with it? There's no reason. But it was fun, and I think I was laughing at it. But clearly that's the point, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it wants you to laugh at it, right? But then, like, how hard, you know? Okay, I feel like it implied that Joe had to be carrying the hammer, I think, because Jyagamon buffed the hammer such that, like, only if he put his feelings into it would it work, is how I understood it.
There's a lot about that buffing the hammer and him that made very little sense. Like Taichi afterwards comments on like how like the power up, like Angelon didn't just power up the hammer, but also Joe as well. And I'm like, really? Is that true? I mean, I don't know if I trust your opinion here, Taichi, but like, I guess you're speaking for the creator of the show.
Oh my gosh, no, I love every moment where like characters in the show ask the question and then there's no answer or something, you know? My favorite was, what was it? When they were talking about in earlier episodes, Tailmon and her holy ring, and then they were like, Patamon, how come you don't have a holy ring? And he's just like, and then it just moves on. What?
Yeah, that's one that I didn't like expect an answer for, because I'm like, I mean, clearly it's just an inconsistency in design that has existed in this franchise for 2 decades. So I would have been like floored if I actually had an answer.
I was just happy that somebody said it in the episode, you know? I was like, well, at least you raised the question.
Yeah, I guess so. That's good to bring that natural perspective to it.
Yeah.
There were a lot of cameos this episode, if that's your thing. I mean, the obvious ones like Bergamon, Tarika Balmon made their return. Been a while since Frontier. And also Lunamon, who I think was in those Dawn and Dusk games that I never actually played.
Oh,
I think.
I didn't play them either.
Well, anyway, Lunamon is a thing. Pusurimon, I only list it because they did have an action scene where like someone carried them. Was it Taichi? Someone was carrying them.
Oh yeah, because they were about to get smashed by a potato and
blown up by potato terrorism.
Yeah.
And I think that's the baby form of the new Digimon in the Digimon Re-Arise game that came out a couple years ago. I am quickly fact-checking that because I thought it, but did not actually double-check before. Yes, they debuted in Re-Arise in 2018. And Blipmon, which I guess apparently it's not a new Digimon. Apparently it's existed since like 2002, which is kind of baffling. But I was like, why is this Final Fantasy airship in Digimon?
Yeah, I mean, apparently Digimon are really into our motor vehicles, you know? Like Tankmon was here.
Yeah, just thinking back on it, like I do appreciate the sheer absurdity of a digital world rest stop that is something I don't think we've ever seen in Digimon before. And
No, yeah, it added a new level of weird, and I was like, all right.
yeah, there are a bunch of cameos. Those are the main ones. I guess there was also the like briefly on screen who didn't really do anything, like the Kunamon, Kamenmon, Muchamon, Floramon. Yeah, they're there. I guess it's nice to see Digimon in an environment and like this world exists.
Are they in a gang though? I need to know.
No. I mean, yeah, this calls into question the mechanics of the digital world. I do. It fits with the vibe of the show, but just thinking back to like original adventure where it's like, oh, there's food. Oh, it's a restaurant. Oh no, you need to pay for it. Like, there were like consequences and stakes.
Oh yeah, Asher was like, "This is the Digitamamon episode."
Yeah, like it's weird to look back on it and be like, the way it's framed, you expect there to be some catch, or like, but no, it's just a fun, innocent Burgermon that giving away infinite burgers. I mean, I guess I don't remember in Frontier that Burgermon episode. I don't think there was any payment or anything like that.
Interesting. Yeah. No, definitely in the beginning of the episode, I was like, again, as you're saying, I was like, there must be some catch. I was like, are they like poison burgers? Why don't they eat the French fries? Is it because like they taste bad? Like, I really thought there was going to be some greater catch to it than like, oh, we just don't like French fries. It's like, what?
They're hard to hold for Digimon hands, apparently.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But burgers are fine.
Yeah, burgers are fine. French fries too far.
Burgers are much harder to hold because you have to like grip to keep the sandwich intact. Whereas a French fry, you can just lift the Podemon does, like just lift it and shovel them into your mouth. Like,
yeah, no, none of the explanations made any sense.
but yeah, I don't remember in Frontier there ever being like this. I mean, maybe it was because they were like the Burgermon were like being held hostage and they were saving them. And then it was kind of like, I think maybe they were making burgers in exchange for, or it was part of the plan to save them and stuff. So like, it wasn't quite this like, here's my fancy restaurant, everything's free, yay. Kind of weird scenario.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else did I think was up with like the French fries? Just, like I thought, like yeah, like maybe the burgers were free, but you had to pay for the fries. Like I don't know. It's just like coming up with all
that's
this
what
stuff.
I thought at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to pay with exercise later to work off the.
I get, and I was like, wait, okay, Burgermon makes the burgers, so then does Podemon make the potato? But no, that wasn't it either. I was like, I'm so confused.
It's weird because like that Frontier, like something about it like is easy for me to disconnect from real life fast food chains. But this one where it's like we serve burgers and we serve fries and we eat them together, even though no one eats French fries, and now we're like it felt much more like an actual like this is actually just McDonald's.
Yeah,
which is kind of bizarre because that original Frontier appearance was like tied into an actual real life Lotteria marketing campaign. So like,
oh yeah.
like the Torika Ballmon are based on a item from the Lotteria menu called Torika Ball. Like,
oh my goodness, I don't know. This episode was like I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange episode. I thought it was kind of interesting how like Gomon refers to Joe as a leader, and then Tailmon overhears that and is like, "Oh, so I'm respectful Digimon. I follow." I
follow hierarchies, yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm just gonna. So he's the leader. Okay, I'll report to him now. And it's like I don't know. I like that as a joke. I find it a little bit odd with how much would Tailmon cede authority that much. I don't think so. I think she'd still be like, no, I'm clearly the one who knows where we need to go.
Yeah, I know all the things for sure. It was funny just because like Tailmon is the serious Digimon to Joe's like seemingly I study all the time, I'm serious boy thing. So then they both got to be like silly in this episode.
Yeah, that's true. Like they both got to be silly. Take this use their seriousness in silly ways was good. Like, yeah, I would have been more frustrated by it if it's like if it was actually a serious dramatic beat that Tailmon was like, okay, where should we go, Joe? You're the leader. But instead it was just, that weird Angemon power up. Which, I mean, it's weird for the power up. It's weird that Tailmon can just be like, okay, turn me into Angemon, and Hikari's like, okay, here you go. And then needing to, like, first off, Jyagamon, like, did Jyagamon need to be hit with a hammer? I don't think so. And did Jyagamon need to be hit with a hammer buffed by Angemon? I don't think so either. Like, it, all sorts of weirdness. But I seeing Joe hold that hammer, quote unquote hold, was a bizarre enough adventure that I'm glad it was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I guess it was worth having.
Grown.
So I don't know. I'm mostly like flabbergasted by the absurdity of this episode. Like I knew going into it being titled Jyagamon Potato Hell was going to be absurd, but I'm still floored.
I know. I got mad at Asher because I was like, Asher, you weren't paying attention to how ridiculous that episode preview was. And then he looked up and could only see like the thumbnail and the episode title, and he was like, "Potato Hell." Go on. Like,
And like, was there a payoff to Potato Hell? Like, or was it just like
no.
a funny absurd title? Like, I think it was just a funny absurd title.
Potato Hell.
And I guess Jyagamon throwing potato terrorist bombs around is kind of a potato hell.
That's a potato hell.
Yeah. I mean, Gabumon
Hell is potatoes.
Gabumon got sacrificed as Jesus and then also into a satanic ritual, so he came back as Potato Hell.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh my gosh, I would watch that. Where's that?
Hey, we haven't checked in on Gabumon this episode, did we? You know, we never know if he's been corrupted.
He's fine.
All right, let's move on to some through reviews. So first off, Drew Softman said, "Online fries discourse."
At Golden Pelt says, "Horrifying cannibalistic implications." Yep. Yeah. No, that's what I said too.
Like, do you think he sheds fries in the shower, like when his hair, like, I don't know, like...
Dude, I really don't know how he's not making the fries. I don't understand.
I mean, maybe that's how he can eat so many of them, because he made all of them, and he's just...
Is he just eating his poop? Like, I don't...
No, okay, that's... Okay. That was too far. Andy Lucas OE said, "Finally, Spud episode." This is what everyone's been waiting for, the Spud like...
The Spud episode?
Yeah, like, when Omegamon showed up in episode 2, it was like, okay, but where are the Spuds?
Well, where's the potatoes? Where's the pizza? Why do you eat the pizza and I only eat the crust? Yeah.
That's what Jyagamon, like after Potatomon evolved into Jyagamon, instead of Jyagamon just being like an enraged, mindless, not talking anymore thing, he should have been like, "Why do you all eat the hamburgers and I only get the fries?"
I only get the fries. I mean, they definitely should have done that. Anyway, at CRR McRae, Joe is worthy. Hammer emoji.
Yeah.
Is he though?
Ketomon22 said, "Potato. Wait, no, maybe it's potato.
Ooh.
Potato."
Yeah, I mean, they definitely all have to have different inflections to make a
I was
sentence.
like, I can't think of a third one.
At With the Will, got enough salt? It's true. Salt is the best.
Yeah, do we think these French fries had enough salt? They must have been salted well.
Yeah.
At Dak and Jaxter said, "Peak Digimon content." Yep.
For sure. At CC Chicado said, "Angelomon best smirk."
I missed the smirk.
I think I did
catch the
too.
smirk?
No.
Okay, we'll look that up after we'll keep talking. Maybe we'll find out by the end of the episode. At Digoning said, "Suddenly craving fries."
That's true. Did this episode make you hungry?
It was so like abstract and absurd. I don't think it actually. Also, what was I eating during the episode? Oh, Vietnamese noodles. They were good, so I wasn't hungry.
Well, there you go. I had just eaten a donut and a hard-boiled egg. That was my breakfast.
Ugh.
A balanced breakfast.
I guess it makes sense as breakfast, but I was like, those don't seem like they mash well together.
No, but one of them has like no substance at all and isn't good for you. And the other one was like, there's nutrients in this. I guess eat that. At Fufuman22, Zudamonal Digivolve. What? Zudamonal Digivolve Tater. Ha, I get it. Tater.
I didn't notice the tater part. Later.
It took me a second, and I was like, I get it.
At Joseph Nosif said, "Best episode ever."
Wow, that's like really high praise. Anyway, at Empire Will says, "Plot 100 to 0. Had to interpret dash and caret."
It's not a carrot. A carrot would be vertical. It's an arrow. Anyway, that's a little bit of a stretch of the 3 words. I don't know if...
Yeah.
One word, 2 numbers, and an arrow made of 2 symbols. Is that 3 words? Sure, that's Digimon math. PDX Anime said, "Joe, fry enthusiast."
That is his claim to fame. He's going to work at a McDonald's when he's older. At Anime Guy 1101, want fries now.
Yeah, it didn't make me hungry I need food right now while watching, but it did make me in the abstract I want to get fries.
Yeah, you're like, sometime today I need to eat fries now.
Yeah, maybe not today, but I am in the long term craving fries. At Happy X2 Meeting said, "Digimon car wash."
Digimon dog car wash, yes. So at F Greninja, cute and wholesome.
And finally, at Bored Individual, Jyagamon was not obliterated. True.
Jyagamon is friends, not food.
You know, I was thinking when Joe was wielding a giant hammer and hitting him, I was like, there is a non-zero chance that they just murder him. And they're like,
oops.
"Well, he learned his lesson."
Oops.
Yeah, now I'm just imagining like Joe slamming the hammer and then being like, "How do you like them French fries?"
Oh my gosh, he definitely should have said that. Okay, wait, did you talk on the episode, like in the previous episodes with Joe, where he was still stuck in the hot spring, about how they made that one scene where they could only hear him talking like really dirty unnecessarily?
Oh, I don't remember talking about it, but yeah, that was a thing.
That was a thing, and I wish that wasn't a thing.
Huh? Yeah, and I think that was when they were like, "Oh, Joe's got it handled. Gomon's with him."
Yeah, and he got sucked back in by his sunflower mon or whatever, and then he was just like, "No, like it's too hard," and like stuff. And I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Don't need this."
Yeah. I think I like appreciate it as a joke where they were like the other kids were like, "We don't want to get involved in this." Like,
Bye.
uh, but yeah, there's definitely, even as a joke, that doesn't have great real world repercussions if you think about mechanics there. Like joking about someone being sexually abused and then be like, "Oh, we don't want to get involved. Good luck."
Yeah, I was like, I'm not down with this. No.
Yeah, but I feel like most of the show, you're not supposed to actually think about it too hard.
I definitely thought about it too hard.
Yeah. Well, moving on to listener comments and questions. First off, we got a bunch of comments. Andy Lucas OE said, "Just want to point out that in 1999, episode 39 is The Battle for Earth, aka War Greymon and Metal Groovon vs. Betavinosmon. This episode being about potatoes makes me appreciate Adventure 2020 more than any other action scene this series could give us at this point." That I agree. Yeah,
No.
on the one hand, I agree with the second sentence there, that like this episode being about potatoes makes me appreciate it more than any action scene could have.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, comparing it to 99, I'm like, this is all lopsided and weird and backwards and confusing.
Yeah, it really just proves your earlier point that it's really wacky.
Yeah. Like, yeah, my first thought when I realized that this was the that big dramatic episode is like, that big dramatic episode worked so well because there was all this character building before it, and the moments where the show was trying to do the big dramatic stuff just did not work, and maybe it would have if they put it at the end. Anyway, next comment from CRR McRae. How is it that probably the most quote-unquote Digimon episode of the series involves Joe using the power of his love of french fries to wield the hammer of Thor to bring his potato Tomo back to his senses? And there's no answer. It's...
Yeah, that's what the dub made us expect. Digimon.
I guess, yeah, this is bringing up the dub is an interesting comparison because it's like, yeah, I think like this is kind of channeling that wacky absurdity that the dub exaggerated.
Yeah, like I almost felt like it was a homage to the English episodes more than anything.
But like so much of the Digimon wackiness was there in the like scenario, and it's just that the
dub just added a bunch of like weird lines and stuff.
Yeah, like even though in the Japanese version, you know, Yamato he's not flirting with girls. He's, when they're trying to hitchhike and he's like embarrassed about the girl that is hitting on him, like even though there are move moments like that, and even though they try to breeze over the fact that a you know, like I don't know how old he is, but like 20-something-year-old man picks up Mimi and hits on her and tries to brush it off as her cousin. Like, even in the original, it was still Koromon pooping in the backseat of that car. You know, like, like there's still, even baked into the original scenario, Digimon's always been, you know, about poop flinging monsters chasing after Mimi, you know, like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it definitely feels like more of that dub vibe because it's so exaggerated in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, if, I don't know if it would be a good or a bad thing, but if the season got a, that kind of style of a dub, I feel like they wouldn't have to do much this episode. Or, I mean, you'd be curious, like, because, yeah, what do you do if you're trying to, like, punch up something and make it more absurd if it already is so absurd?
No, they'd just be like, this is perfect already. Thank you. Japanese team. Like...
Well, maybe they just, like, make it hyper serious instead.
Oh my god.
Just remove all the jokes and just be like, let all the visuals carry the humor. That could work. But Dak and Jackster said, such a fun episode. When Gomon explained about fries being hard to hold, I thought the resolution would be Joe teaching Bergamon to make those waffle fries for less dexterous digits. Oh, less dexterous digits. I thought digits because hands are digits. Oh, fingers are digits. And they also say Joe's story reminded me a bit of Freeze Your Brain from the Heathers musical. Sure. Sorry, I haven't seen the Heathers musical.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what that is.
The closest I've seen is the episode of Riverdale where they do the Heathers musical, but I don't remember if they did that song. But maybe that resonates with someone who's seen the Heathers musical.
Yeah. I'm glad that we all were like, what is the catch with these fries? What's going to be the twist with the fries?
Yeah, we all like put much thought into the fries more than the show apparently did. So.
Yeah.
At Fufumon22 said, so, following Angelmon making Joe strong enough to wield Zunamon's hammer, and Tai commenting on it, spirit evolution / biomerging might be on the horizon soon. And they also go further into stuff about Kizuna, which I'm not going to read because not everyone's seen Kizuna yet. In particular, Ashley?
I have not watched Kizuna yet. That's true.
Yeah, so I kind of want to. I mean, I don't know if you already read it, but I kind of want to avoid
I didn't read it.
discussing that at least for spoilers because, there's a. Yeah, I don't know. We still hoping to do a Kizuna episode soon-ish.
Hey, you're the one backing this up, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I should be much better by the end of the month to have an open schedule. Actually, let's discuss that more after the recording, maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, do you think that some kind of like Digimon and human hybrid evolutions, or Digimon turning into, or humans turning Digimon, would fit into this season?
I guess I didn't actually get it strongly from this like Joe sillily carrying Zudamon's hammer, but the way that Hikari and Tailmon were initially interacting I was like, are they gonna, biomerge, DNA Digivolve, whatever, together? Like, I thought that's when I had much more of the, like, your relationship is very strange, and I feel like you should merge now.
It would kind of be the only answer to that. The question raised in that one episode where they were underwater, where it was like, Hikari wanted to be on the front lines, and Tailman was like, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't remember how they actually resolved it, because still doesn't make any sense why Hikari wanted to be on the front lines. The only explanation to that is if she's inside Angelmon. So,
yeah.
I think the comment about this, that the part of this episode that made me think like, kind of maybe in this direction, is that Tai comments on like, it powered up Joe as well. And it's like, okay, if we're talking about Digimon powering up humans, like, I don't know, maybe, but...
Okay, I feel like if it does happen, it's only going to be with, like, one of them. Like, either Taichi or, like, Taichi because he's the leader, or Hikari because she's, like, holy Digimon weirdness.
I mean, not to go back to Greninja, but that's, I think, basically how it plays out in Pokemon, that Ash's bond with Greninja is just so strong that he fuses with him. That just seems so bizarre from what I remember of Pokemon. I don't know how that
nice
happens.
To Pikachu.
Yeah, Pikachu was, nope. He said, no more Pikachu.
Yeah.
That is, speaking of that, like, I'd never actually got this vibe from the episode. When I was writing down the recap, I was like, is Podemon a better partner for Joe than Gomamon? Like,
ooh.
Like, it made me wonder, like, I guess I'm glad they didn't actually do it, but, like, the episode could have gone a different direction where Gomamon was jealous of Joe's relationship with Podemon.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe they evolved again because they reunited or whatever. But that's like a whole different Pandora's box of, like, can the humans partner with a different Digimon they find? Like...
Gosh. I like the way you're thinking, though. Good thinking outside the box.
All I'll say about like the Kizuna reference is that, like, without spoiling whether it's something that does or does not happen in Kizuna, I feel like it would be a very bizarre thing to introduce into a franchise, into a series way late in its run, like Kizuna. Whereas this reboot, like, if it's more baked into its DNA from the start, I'd be more accepting of it. And I don't know where we are now. Like, I think we're far enough in that it would feel kind of weird, but also at least it's not like decades in. So I'm not saying whether it could or couldn't happen. I'm saying how off-put would I be?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe, but maybe not completely off-put. But yeah. PDX Anime said, so wait, Angemon can just buff other Digimon? It seems pretty broken, but honestly I think that's cool that she is a support queen. And yeah, I'm a little bit confused because I think people also commented when Angemon did that one thing where he like buffed, I think like Metal Greymon and Weregreymon, and people were like, wow, Angemon's so OP, and I'm like, really?
Angemon can't even happen anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that changes things in retrospect, but like, I feel like the Digimon, like, just supporting other Digimon doesn't make them broken or OP, like, it makes them even, I don't know, like, I don't know, I don't think that's like broken. I also don't think like, this scenario where Jyagamon didn't even need to be hit with a hammer and Angelmon buffed him up to hit with a hammer even better with a holy ring, like, it just didn't feel like a scenario where I was like, my reaction never would have been, oh, he's overpowered, or sorry, Angelmon's overpowered.
Yeah. If anything, it lessened Angelmon's power for me because, like, you had to bust out Angelmon for this? Like... What?
Yeah, like I think the kind of thing that make me think Angelmon is OP is if she can curb stomp any Digimon they come across. But supporting other characters, I think that's actually a better use of. I think the show has always struggled with like this reboot has always struggled with what do you do with all 8 characters on screen.
Yeah,
and this one kind of rose to that challenge.
It was like, we're gonna try really hard. Yeah.
I think this is basically the only, because it's not the first episode where they've all been reunited. Like that episode where Dark and Amon split them up. They were reunited, I guess. So they did kind of fight in that episode and then were immediately split up. This is the first one when like normal everyday things are happening. And I'm assuming they'll still get broken up pretty soon in an episode or two. But also a PDX Anime said, can we talk about the fact that we were on like the fourth ending, but still the same OP? And yeah that's not great.
I thought maybe because this is supposed to be 66, like, I was a bit behind. So I was still less than halfway. I thought, like, since this was supposed to be 66 episodes, I was like, okay, are they doing like 2 openings, like to switch halfway?
Mm-hmm.
And that did not happen. I was like, oh, this is the opening forever and always.
Yeah, it's a little bit abnormal for recent Digimon. I forget when they made the switch, but like all the recent Digimon seasons past a certain year have had 2 openings. So it's a little bit disappointed on that front, but like there are long-running shonen anime series that keep the same opening throughout. Like how many episodes did the modern Hunter x Hunter have? I think over 100, and they kept the same opening for all of them.
Really?
146 episodes, like. So and they changed I don't remember how many different endings they had, but so yeah, I am tired by this opening though. Like I don't find it exciting anymore. Not that it's bad, I'm just like the endings are so much more exciting at this point.
Yeah. Well, the endings give the characters more fun and characterization than the entire show otherwise does. So
like the songs, each one, actually this happened for the second one, the third one, and probably the fourth one. When they started, I was like, I'm really not feeling the song. By the time they left, I was like, I really loved that song. I miss it completely.
What a emotional roller coaster you on for a whole minute and a half.
Yeah, but wait, no, not like, I don't mean like while listeing to the song. I mean like by the time they.
Oh,
like 13
okay.
later,
By the time
13 weeks later.
Okay,
No, not like
all 13. I was like, what?
no. But yeah, I think the real star is just the new drawings that premiere in the ending songs.
Yeah.
Which, this one, I mean, I think the third one was the best in that regard. Like, this fourth one is really fun and cute, but, like, we're kind of just seeing the humans in Digimon in, they're drawn very cute, but they're exactly the kind of scenario that you would expect. Like, oh, Koshiro brushes his teeth. Like, I'm not surprised that he brushes his teeth.
Right, yeah.
Whereas the third opening, it was like, okay, Koshiro is, I don't remember what he was doing. Was he fishing? No, he was like...
No, that's Takaru was fishing.
Yeah, Takaru was fishing. Like, they were doing fun, bizarre activities in weird places. Whereas this one is like... standard kid things with the Digimon and drawn well. So yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
It's weird to like, when I was watching the opening this time, I was like, oh right, War Greymon's in the opening. Remember when that was a big deal that War Greymon was in the opening? And it's like, does it even matter anymore?
Nothing matters.
Yeah. Joseph Snosif asked, I'm going to Del Taco for some fries. Want anything?
No. Yes, and
good improv. I'm perpetually mad because this is more of a joke than anything, but Del Taco has like some kind of boba-esque drink that they call the boba poppers, which is a thing in the gay community that you shouldn't be referring to drinks as. Oh man,
there are so many things happening to me right now. I'm just like, what? You're like, I can't say it on this podcast.
Maybe don't Google. No, it's not very tame. But I just find the idea of them being called poppers very funny. So I wanted to get poppers from Del Taco, but there isn't a Del Taco in San Francisco, so I haven't been able to get them. But anyway, that's the only thing I know Del Taco for. I don't actually want Del Taco food.
I don't know anything about Del Taco.
Are they nationwide?
I have no idea. This episode is Ashley doesn't know anything.
I just know that they exist in like some parts of California, but there's like an hour away from San Francisco. I think it might just be a California thing. They seem to be based in California. I don't think they're good, but I guess people like it. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, the closest one I put in my zip code. The closest one is 422 miles away. So.
I mean, you'll be excited for this news. In October 2020, Del Taco announced an expansion into the Columbus, Ohio market.
Yeah. It's showing me Ohio ones are the closest.
Oh, is that actually the one that... I guess that would be the closest. Interesting. Yeah, they seem to be pretty scattered up, right?
It appears to be Ohio and the Missouri ones are the closest.
Although they apparently did a cross promotion with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, so.
Oh, they did a promotion with the Anaheim Ducks, man.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Kirito Prime asked, so at this point is Angelwoman more of a form change than evolution? And yeah, the way that the callousness that which I was just like, Hikari, shine the light on me. Cool. Let me do a thing. It was a little bizarre.
Yeah. Have they directly addressed that Tailmon is a champion already?
No, I don't think they've directly addressed it, but I think what they're just going for is that like when they found Angemon, he had also reverted to a champion, but then died and came back as Patamon. So, like, I think that's the distinction. But yeah, they never really directly drew that line. So I'm kind of like
Alright.
having to stretch backwards to be like, I think this is what they're going for.
Okay.
Dot Yawning asked, so we're at the end of the episode. Is it weird that Jyagamon can now provide a seemingly endless supply of potatoes via Lunamon? Or do we think if they rely on him too much, he'll eventually run out of juice because these potatoes are technically attacks coming from him? Even, like, I'll add, like, even, they're not just attacks, like, they are parts of his body, I guess. He's just, spawning. But we think that Potemon was also the source of fries, so.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If Bergamot is the source of the burgers, like, why is this weird, you know?
Right, like, Bergamon has to be the source of burgers, right? Because, like, there aren't any cows to murder or make into beef, right? So.
Yeah, no. This Bergamot is murdering other Digimon and turning them into...
It's still, I mean, I'm not anywhere near caught up on the My Hero Academia manga, so I think I've heard there is more gruesome things in the manga later on, but like, I still find it really jarringly gruesome when Mineta, who, I mean, deserves everything, deserves everyone beating him up, but when he just like pulls his grape balls out of his hair enough that his head bleeds, I find that like so disgusting.
That's gross. I mean, it is gross.
Which is kind of what I imagine would happen with Podemon if he just keeps pulling out French fries.
Okay. I think he'll be okay.
But maybe he bleeds ketchup, so.
I mean, they didn't even like French fries until 5 seconds ago. Like, the demand is not too high yet, you know? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think what they're going for is that, like, oh, French fries in soap makes them think of potato salad, which, first of all, you don't make potato salad by just mixing potatoes in soap, so good luck with that. But, but yeah, I think they had ideas for new potato dishes, and that's what made them
right.
The market for potatoes thrive.
Right, they got excited.
I liked that they had hash brown patties.
Yeah.
Ketomon22 asked, Digital World Society just gets stranger. Tankdramon is a mercenary. Mercs kill for money, but the food is free. What does Tankdramon need money for? And no one knows. This we went from hyper-capitalist Mimi to
Yeah. To whatever this is. Yeah. To communism.
Hyper-communist Bergamon. Yeah. Comrade Bergamon.
Comrade Bergamon. Yeah.
Oh boy. And they also asked, do you like Angemon being a support class, and do you think the other Digimon will get JRPG type team roles?
No, I don't like Angemon being a support class. Everybody should be supporting Angemon. She's the holy Digimon that they have right now. I find relegating the sillies to RPG roles.
I mean, I don't know if I like it or not, but it makes a certain amount of sense, and I appreciate that we haven't seen it before. Of just having the Holy Digimon be like buffers.
Yeah.
And I mean, characters who buff other people. So like that is fitting from a thematic sense. Yeah, dramatically, I'm used to Digimon being like, they're the Holy Digimon, they're the strongest ones. But I don't know. It's cool, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know what other type roles, like, I don't know. I don't want to see Zudamon be a red mage. I don't know, like, or like what, I mean,
yeah,
in terms
like,
of
what
like,
is Angemon, like, who's the healer? Like, you know?
Yeah, they don't really fit into those kind of roles. And I'm trying to think, like, do they fit into like MMO type roles, like tank and DPS? And like, no, not really. Do they fit into like Final Fantasy jobs? Like, no, I don't know. They don't track very nicely. It's just they're too messy and weird to fit into JRPG type roles.
Well,
I think.
yeah, because like like there's no need for a healer, kind of, because if they get hurt, they just like de-digivolve.
I was thinking about that recently, where like playing some more like, I don't know what game I was playing recently, but like where like having, I guess playing Final Fantasy 14 where like having a healer is like very necessary and stuff. And I was like, how did I play games? I remember as a kid playing RPGs and not valuing healing, like not, like, I don't need a white mage in this team. Like I just
okay.
I'll have like a black mage and a fighter and a thief, but I don't need a healer. Like that's silly. And I'm like, how did I survive? How did I get through? And I think it's just because like, you know, you could use potions outside of battle, or like when you leveled up, you would heal. And that's what it feels like in Digimon, where it's like you never need to heal because like the battle's over and then you heal off screen.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
Fufumon22 asked, who wins in a fight? Joe with Zudamon's hammer or Marcus Damon? My money's on the charming red-haired boy still. Reckon that boy would shatter the hammer with a single punch. So longtime listeners know your opinions about Marcus.
I do hate a Marcus Damon, but this fight would be very funny, and I would love to see Marcus get his hand broke by Zudamon's hammer.
I remember there being a Zudamon in that season, but I don't remember.
But does Marcus punch its face, you know?
It might have been like in like a flash, like one of those flashbacks with Marcus's dad. I don't remember. But what I feel most betrayed by reading this comment, Marcus has red hair and you never told me. Is his hair actually red?
All right, hold on. No, it's brown.
Oh, is it like a Koshiro situation where it's like a slight reddish tint of brown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's wearing a red vest, and it's very distinctly not the color of his hair,
Oh,
you
okay,
know?
okay. Yeah, I can see how red the vest is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what's up with Digimon? Like, there's never anyone with like full-on red hair, is there?
No, because like their hair colors aren't wacky.
Oh, I guess that's, yeah, they don't really have anime hairstyles, do they?
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, some seasons do, but not Adventure.
No, not adventure.
I mean, like Yamato and Joe.
But Yamato has like ashy blonde hair.
Right, but like, so he would have been like a very pronounced dyed hair in real life, and Joe having like bluish
He has
purple.
like blue hair, sure.
So like that's I don't think in real life Joe would dye his hair.
Okay, but in the realm of anime, you know, it's not crazy. Like they're not. This isn't Horimiya, right?
There's no one with like C2, whatever her name is, like green hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so some more open-ended questions. Andy Lucas OE said, in honor of Joe wielding Zudamon's hammer. Oh, I just realized they mentioned that like hopefully they didn't steal the Digiprom for this question, and I just realized they phrase it in exactly the way I phrase Digiproms. In honor of Joe wielding Zudamon's hammer, which Digimon weapon would you want to wield yourselves? I'd take Cyberdramon's armor suit or Metal Greymon's boob missile launcher myself.
Yeah. We were briefly talking about this before the episode, and I'm like, this is very difficult for me because I feel like I don't like the Digimon with the flashy weapons like that much.
Yeah, and I struggle with it because my first reaction was like, who's my favorite Digimon? Beelzemon? And I was like, maybe I don't want a giant machine gun. Like,
maybe I don't want a giant machine gun. Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like I would go with something really like basic. Like I love like pretending I'm Wolverine or something. So actually War Greymon having like in his Digivolution, you can see him like put on his claws like over his hands, right? So I'm like, I just take those things.
Draymond Destroyers. Yeah, I feel like, what would I actually want to wield? None of them, because I don't want to wield a weapon. But,
yeah. Like, not like a
what would I
type.
want to like have as a prop in my room? Like, I mean, like I don't know what's called, but the sword that Omegamon has, like that's pretty cool. If I need a letter opener, Zubamon, who has like the blade on his head that for the 20th anniversary of Digimon, like that'd be a nice letter opener, I guess.
I'm like, could I get what's his face's just like a shield? A nice shield would be good from what is the final
Dukemon?
Gallantmon?
Yeah. What would you use a shield for though?
Yo, just put it on a wall. You know, it's nice art.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, how would you even carry around Metal Greymon's boob missile launcher? Like,
yeah. Where do you put that on your boobs? Like,
yeah. Well, next question from at Empire Will. This feels like a response to complaints about the show not taking its time to have fun about 25 episodes ago that are just being worked in now. What else have we complained about you hope to see changed for the end of the run? And I'll just point out, like, I totally agree with this. It does make me wonder if this is exactly what happened, that people were complaining about the lack of fun and energy in episode, the low 10s or whatever. And I mean, it makes sense that like in the production cycle of anime, like you can't, these things are in production for months. So like this could be the first time that the feedback of the show airing actually was incorporated into the show itself. But yeah, what kind of things would you hope to see changed?
I guess I was actually hoping you would answer first because I feel like you've been more in touch with what people are complaining about actively.
I mean, it's tough because, like, this is the main thing, like, the fun and the levity. And seeing them doing exactly that, I'm like, no, it's too late. Like, not that I dislike this episode or anything, or, like, think it's bad they went in this direction, but I'm just like, the damage is already done. Like, the first two cores is where that needed to be done for it to feel like a satisfying roller coaster, and instead it feels like, I don't know, a very strange roller coaster that we've been on.
Yeah, no, it definitely again feels like something is filler now. Like something that doesn't add up to be the same thing, right? And my biggest complaint is again, like I just really struggled with like accepting this like survivalist digital world until right before the silly episodes, and then the silly episodes make it more confusing because I'm like, all right, are they not all in gangs? I don't understand now. Like, I was just getting used to this gang idea, like, which is it? So I just feel like the digital world needs to feel more like a place where Digimon live and do normal, like, sentient creature things. like have fun, love each other, like not just murder each other to death, but like yeah, the fun things too.
Yeah, it would be nice if there was just like if they could just like zoom out once and be like, here's the world map. Here is where Cloud Continent was that we were on for a while.
Yeah.
Here's where we are now, and here's where Faga is. And like, I feel like they can never do that because they need to leave it open ended so they can figure out what to do later.
Also, did they explain does Faga stand for something and I missed it and I'm being really dumb?
No, they have never explained what it stands for. Like if you were listening in Japanese, like I don't think it would be clear that it is an acronym because they're just saying like Faga.
Yeah.
But definitely the subtitles, right? Like it's an acronym. I think the leading theory that I've seen people posting for a while and mentioning on various podcasts and stuff is that I don't like the theory, but that it stands for Facebook, Apple, Google, and Amazon.
Whoa.
But the only connection there is that there is an acronym GAFA that in some context means that.
Oh.
So some people use like GAFA, Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon to refer to big tech. And I don't, as much as I can look into it, I don't think anyone ever writes that as Faga instead. But that could be what they're going for in the way that like, in like generic JRPGs, like, like they won't have apples, they'll have mapples. Or they'll have like everything will just be like slightly misspelled. So I'm like, that could be what they're going for. It doesn't seem like a Digimon thing, but like, I don't know, we're in new uncharted territory.
Yeah, we're really far in this wacky digital world. So.
I just don't like getting my expectations too high with them. I don't think this is going to be a show. Like, I don't think it's going to be the type of show where the ultimate villain is big tech and we're going to be taking down Jeff Bezos by the end, Like,
oh my gosh, that would be hilarious, though.
Yeah, I don't think this is like Atmon borders on that kind of commentary. So but I don't think this is that kind of show.
No, I just keep being like, ugh, Millenniumon's here, so where's Rio?
No, I don't think it's gonna be Rio.
Are you sure?
But yeah, so I think like the one thing I'd like to see change is like a consistent view of what the digital world actually is, and like a way that actually makes sense of it. Because I feel like the bits that we've seen of like Leomon and his army fighting against Devamon, those characters not even knowing that things outside of Cloud Continent existed. That whole like, oh, find the holy Digimon on Cloud Continent. And then, like, I don't know, it's just feels very slapdash and put together on the run. Like, they're just piecing this world together as they, like taking one building block and putting it ahead of them. And then as they move to the next step, moving the old building blocks and putting them ahead of them and just like constructing a bridge out of thin air as they run along it.
Yeah. As we say at work frequently, we're building the plane as we fly it. It's terrifying. Don't do that. It's not fun.
It's a scary metaphor.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into ratings for this episode, do you have any final thoughts?
Where can the show possibly go from here? It's like it's just like what my brain is spinning out, like.
Right. So we've gotten a Koshiro, then Mimi, then Joe. Just those three focus episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, Yamato. So 4.
Well, yeah.
So I guess that leaves, if we assume Taichi has gotten enough already, that leaves 3 more. So next week seems like it's going to be Sora, right?
Oh, God, it's going to suck. Okay.
I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I guess we still have a Hikari and Takara already got the Pegasmon one. And I guess Hikari also got that arc recently. So maybe Sora's the last one and then it's on to confronting Faga. I don't know.
Then it's Rio time.
But yeah, I don't know in terms of tone if this is like a sign of things to come, if this is a brief moment of levity. I guess I'm just wondering, like, do we feel like we've gotten a fun diversion and that like now they could lead into dramatic stakes? I don't know.
No. Like, even if they do that, they still haven't made me care about most of these children or their Digimon or this world.
Yeah, they haven't really had interactions either. They've kind of just... I guess other people were in the restaurant along with Joe, and I guess other people were, cleaning Commandamon along with everyone else. And so I don't feel like they have really bonded in any way.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if that's part of the plan, that you don't want to rock any ships.
Yeah. No ships. Can be tipped.
Like, even though these kids are too young for people to actually realistically ship, I just worry if they, don't want to touch those can of worms.
Yeah.
But yeah. How would you rate this episode out of 5 beautiful friendship-making French fries?
Toughy. I give it I'm debating whether to give it a 3.5 or a 4. I think I'm going to go with 3.5 because it was fun. I laughed a lot, but also like inconsequential.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.5 because
Wow.
I don't want content control from the show right now.
You're super cool. You're super...
I wish I had gotten. I obviously wish this had happened earlier, but like they did answer the prayers, and this was fun and absurd enough that it's like you can actually point to the fun and absurdity and be like, "Oh my god, this was like a wild ride," which I feel like has been definitely lacking from Digimon from this reboot for a while. And who would your MVP be?
Commandamon.
Okay, just for getting washed.
No, yes. First of all, Commandamon is the most powerful Digimon in the show right now. And also that one Commandamon who, their Commandamon was like, I'm itchy and dirty and I can't talk because I'm a dog, but also a submarine. And then there was that other Commandamon who came out of the wash and was like doing the head bob thing, like, I'm a sexy Commandamon. Like, yeah, absolutely. Bring it.
You're right. Konoman got a lot of various characterization.
Yes.
I was a little confused because like that Konoman had a different colored thing. So I was like, is their Konoman going to be like once they clean it, going to come out that same silver color? But no.
No, it was implied that the Commandamon, that one had a different helmet and stuff too.
Yeah. Well, who should I give it to? I want to say Podemon, but not. I don't actually like Podemon.
I was like, did you really like Podemon?
Yeah, like it's funny, but I didn't vibe with it. I think maybe I'm gonna give it to Burgermon because they put up with all this and giving everyone everything for free and like complaining people don't like the menu, but it's like you're not paying for the menu, so why can you complain? Like, yeah, they're the underrated. They're the only thing keeping the digital world together at this point, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Although I do not MVP Burgermon, do not love the spelling of Bergamon.
Yeah, no.
I don't like saying Bergamon. I don't know. Burgermon. Anyway, but this episode was one of the highest rated episodes in our Twitter polls.
Period. Ever.
Yeah, no, there were like 1, 2, 3 or 4 that were higher. Like the Pegasusmon episode and a couple of the really early episodes. Like the Yamato Fortress one and like the first episode. But it did have the second most percentage of 5-star votes below just the that Yamato Fortress episode. So yeah, I think people were excited by this kind of levity, and I think if we got several more episodes like this, I'd be kind of exhausted by like make us care about whether there are actually stakes to things going on. But even when the show is focused on making it seem like there are stakes, it hasn't felt like there are actually stakes. So I don't know. This was a fun change of pace, I guess. But yeah, next week is episode 40, Strike, the Killer Shot. Taichi and Sora's cooperative killer shot strikes Toropiamon, that dinosaur bird thingy, who is a new Digimon that just premiered last year, apparently, in the VPATs. But anyway, Taichi, Sora, and Agumon are kicking soccer balls, I guess.
It's the soccer episode.
Yeah, it seems like this is going to be there was a lot of Taichi in the preview for this to be a Sora focus episode.
Yeah.
But hopefully in the actual episode, it's a little bit less of him stealing the show.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about that. But yeah, no, it definitely seems like it's going to keep being silly for a bit.
Yeah, and it's cool to show Sora's athleticism.
It's cool to show that Sora is just the female, very inferior shadow of Taichi. Yeah, it's cool.
Well, I feel like for a lot of the show, she's just been the one to tag along with Taichi, just so he's not literally the only one on screen. She hasn't got to do or talk or anything, so hopefully this will buck that trend.
One can only hope.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of the show. Last week's DigiPrompt was actually, on the note of what you were mentioning, actually.
Related to my question, yeah.
In honor of Mephismon's devotion to Millenniumon, what do you think the acronym FAGA stands for? Only wrong answers. So, there are a bunch of these. Get to some honorable mentions first. Drew Stoffman said, forgot a good anime. Andy Lucas OE said, forget about getting attached to these characters. Fufamon22 said, firefighters announce gay awakening. And Dak and Jaxer said, fake accounts generating arguments. See, like that, I appreciate. Like, I think that would be a much more fun, if you were to villainize actual tech things, like make it just be like fake accounts. That'd be funny. But the number one winner is from May from Lost in Translation on Forever Agumon Gabumon Anime. That is what the show is. So this week's Digiprompt is in honor of Joe basically cheating on Gomon with a new Digimon partner. If Podemon were Joe's partner, what would the Mega Evolution look like? What would a Mega Potato Digimon be like? Partnered with Joe.
Specifically with Joe.
With the crest of liability, I guess. So send those responses or general feedback to podages@gmail.com, to @podages on Twitter, or in the episode comments on podages.com. Share the podcast with your friends who won't erupt into a violent rage when their favorite menu item is removed from Taco Bell. And it would be awesome if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It only takes a minute, and each review helps a ton. If this is your first episode, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever else you find podcasts. So, Ashley, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, I'm always so excited to be like, Digimon, why?
So if people want to find you in the digital world, where can they check you out?
Well, I sometimes tweet from at AshMcD00, but I'd prefer that you listen to my shoujo manga podcast at Shoujo and Tell. It's Shoujo and Tell and all the things, shoujo without the U, because I follow the lead of Shoujo Beat. Yo, what's up?
Unfortunately, not named. The podcast was not named Yu Yu Hakushojo.
No, it was no.
That would be a very misleading title to name after a shonen series.
Yeah, why would we do that?
Well, I am definitely Jeff on Twitter, and also check out my general anime podcast, Love It a Wee Bit, where I guess we don't cover shoujo series because very few of them.
Because there aren't any. Oh.
We were just talking off mic about how Horimiya is kind of shoujo, but not actually.
Not actually, and it's infuriating.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you everyone for listening, and I'll be back next week to talk about episode 40, Strike, the Killer Shot. Bye.
Bye.
And remember, never stop it.
終わりなんかないぜそうさ怖いままなら出発点青い空にの果て誰も知らない明日はあるから待ってよ今さら立ち止まれるバナの日常道あの日君と壁に書いた三日線を風も今さらどこも行けないぜって朝かいね朝かいねなら大人になんかなっちゃいけないね
At FG Greninja. I don't know, I'm making stuff up now.
Actually, Greninja is like one of the most popular Pokemon.
Ugh.
He fuses with Ash. Like they
Whatever.
become
They
a
become
hybrid
the
Ash
DNA
Greninja.
Digivolve.
Yes, no, they Matrix Digivolve together.
Oh
He's
yeah.
in Smash. You don't know Greninja? Greninja's in Smash.
I don't know. I don't play Nintendo games.
You know Greninja. don't read as Greninja.
This is definitely going in the outro. Alright.
You've seen Greninja before.
You're like, I'm deleting you from this podcast. Alright, I have to look up Greninja now. Asher's disappointed me too, don't worry. Probably. Oh my god, I've seen this Digimon or Pokemon 2 times.
He is a ninja that whose bandana is made of his tongue.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, you don't want to think about it too hard. I mean,
You don't want to think about it too hard.
that does give that. I have thought of my Digiprompt question though.
There you go.
Hold on, I do need to double check this doesn't actually already exist. The question is going to be if Joe partnered with Pokemon, what would the Mega Evolution be? Jyagamon does have a bunch of canonical. Oh, Deathmon. That's sure.
Deathmon.
Digimon. And remember, never stop Digivolving.
Digivolve your differences.
No.